take the easy option. Big blowtorch boy. Yes. Okay, welcome back to Fire to Fork. Today we are joined by Todd from Off-Road Crusader.
Thanks.
Now, the framework of this video is Todd, despite being a 200 series owner, I expected that he'd eat Wagyu and caviar every day. But he hasn't actually tried Wagyu before, have you?
Caviar I have every Thursday, but not Wagyu, no.
There you go, who knew? He's more of a lobster man. Okay. I'm going to cook Todd dinner, and I'm going to get him to bugger off at some stage, and I'm going to blind cook 2 steaks. And then he's going to try them and tell me if Wagyu is worth the hype. So, you can bugger off now, go drink beer by the fire.
Yeah, right.
And I'm going to drink beer away from the fire. And I'm going to cook us... Well, I'm going to start off with just some roast veggies. So, I'm going to start off with some roast pumpkin. Can't just have steak. I mean, you can just have steak, you definitely can. But I thought, let's make this a rounded meal. And I have just been really getting into roast pumpkin. There's something about the butteriness and the softness and it's so easy to actually make in a camp oven. I don't know why I'm going in there. That it's just been really appealing to me. And yes, through the power of television and magic that is YouTube, I'm not on the East Coast anymore. I'm back in the Taj Mahal, away from the Daleka, and I'll be back in the Daleka in a week today. And that will be the start of the Cape York trip. If you didn't know, I bought another car. I'm doing Cape York to Tassie in a budget car. Well, but pretty budget, not budget for COVID prices, I think. Todd probably thinks it costs as much as his ashtray. So I'm not just doing roast pumpkin, I'm actually going to do some chips as well, because steak and chips is life. And you want this in big chunks. So pumpkin goes really well in big chunks, whereas roast potato I find tends to do better in small chunks. So a little bit different. As with all my other episodes, you can comment a code word at some stage in this episode and you can win a copy of my book. I would love to send you a copy if you comment the code word down below. Comment it on YouTube, don't send me an email, don't send me a DM. It doesn't work. Comment down below on YouTube and I will send one person a book. Quickly I'll get my camp oven and throw this stuff on the fire at the same time. Just drop these into your camp oven with a little bit of oil. Okay, more than a little bit. A good slug of oil, not of olive oil, doesn't matter what oil you use. Bit of salt and pepper. Now we want this on the fire with 80% on top and 20% underneath. So let's go and make that happen. All right, a few bits of coals underneath. I'm using a little trivet because, or like pot stand. These things are so good because you don't smother the fire when you put a pot on it. That's actually probably too much. It needs very little underneath. I always like to chuck one big flamey bit on there because it kind of sucks in oxygen and gives a bit more heat if there's an actual sort of bit of fuel source, as opposed to just coals, which are just basically going out. So a couple of little bits of unburnt wood are perfect. And we'll leave that for about half an hour. Those roast veggies are looking pretty good. So now I was gonna do hand cut nice chips, but I thought I'd show you a little hack. And that is frozen chips in a skillet are amazing. So, fry pan, frozen chips. I like shoestrings just because I do. An unhealthy glug of unhealthy oil, so I always get comments like, olive oil is healthy. I'm like, yeah, no, this isn't olive oil. This is rice bran oil. You can use peanut oil, you can use any kind of a flavourless oil. Bit of salt. I personally like a bit of pepper on my chips. That's just me. And then that's it. You basically just shallow fry them, toss them around a bit, and I'm going to throw them on the fire. Drop them on there, wait till they're brown. Okay, there are steaks here. You're not allowed to see what I cook, so you need to bugger off.
All right.
And probably only got 5 minutes because these are pretty quick to cook. You bugger off, go eat caviar on the back of your fancy wagon.
If I don't get to try it, is it a mistake?
It is a mistake.
Dad joke.
Dad joke. Yeah, good. Do you make dad noises when you get up? Like,
Oh, my back.
yeah. Yeah, I make those
Who
too.
left the light on?
You little bastards!
Back
All right.
in my day.
So, I've got a skillet over there preheating. Now, skillets. I have tried to, sorry, I'm just going to open this up so you can hear me because anyway, microphone stuff. I have tried to get really good sears on steaks with a vast array of different lightweight skillets. And I'm over it. I'm actually over it. Yes, I can get a pretty good sear on a fire. I haven't found a replacement for cast iron. And I've done whole videos on why I don't carry cast iron, and I have reneged. I've decided that bugger it, you don't have to carry cast iron. It's not essential, it's nowhere near essential. You can definitely cook a good steak on a variety of different things. For the kind of steak that I really love, I just want cast iron. So I've picked up this ironclad pan, I'll show you. Gave it a good season today. Look, it's a pricey pan. I wanted to get something that I think will do the job. I have no idea what it's like. I've never cooked anything in it. So this is it. Looks like a cast iron skillet. Looks nice. And I'll let you know how it cooks. So let's have a look at the meat we've got. I have put these all in the freezer for a little bit so they're quite cold because none of them are very thick and I want them all to be perfectly medium rare. I didn't ask him how he wants his steak because he's getting them medium rare. These are our steaks. This steak here is a beautiful grass-fed Scotch fillet. It cost me about 60 bucks a kilo, so this steak was about 15 bucks. This one here, actually both of these are the same. They're also Scotch fillets and they didn't cost 60 bucks a kilo. I think retail on these, now I don't know, it's bad, but I buy them wholesale. So these are Margaret River Wagyu steaks, and I believe retail these are about 150-ish a kilo, maybe 200. These are a 7-8 score, I believe. I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly. 7-8 score Scotch fillet. So nice grass-fed steak, Wagyu. I can't say this too loud because he's over there. The other one is a little bit thicker, so I didn't get it as cold. But that's the only thing that'll let him know which one's which. So I'm not going to blindfold him when he eats them because he won't know. When that's seared and it's the same colour, you're not going to know the difference. So, pan, I'm going to go and take it back over there, get it ripping hot. These all have so much fat on them, they actually don't need oil. If it's a seasoned pan, they don't need oil. So let's just go over there, get this absolutely ripping hot and sear them. Oh, sorry, before I do that, bit of salt. Ooh, add of salt. And a bit of pepper. Now, some people get into me about using pepper before I cook the steaks. You can use a lot more pepper because pepper cooks and it becomes milder. And I love the taste of cooked pepper, personally. So, yeah, that's just personal preference. Use about, I would say, if you're going to sear a steak, use twice as much pepper as you normally would if you put it on before you sear. go and do this. Woo. Those chips actually already look done before I do the steak. What I'll do is I'll just chuck them in a bowl and I'll put them by the fire to keep warm. I'm going to chuck a little tiny bit of this oil in there. You don't need to, but I don't want to waste it. And it's also a good way of telling if my pan's hot enough and helping my pan get hotter by pouring that little bit of excess on the fire. It's irresponsible, don't do that. Yeah, she's pretty warm. That is pretty warm. Okay, that is about as hot as a pan gets. If I was to guess, I would say that pan's at about 800 or 900 degrees Celsius. The idea is we're just going to sear the outsides, then rest it. I've taken it off the really intense heat. It's still probably, you know, this will get to about 500 or 600 degrees Celsius while it's searing. Now, the reason I'm loving the cast iron is that it doesn't go cold when I put a steak on it. So this has so much thermal mass that I can continue to get a really good sear from this crazy hot pan, no matter how much meat I put on it. That's a lot of meat and a lot of cold mass to put in a pan, and it doesn't blink. So these two thinner ones, they're going to be ready to come off any second. Perfect. See, that's got a beautiful sear on it, both sides. Leave that in there for a couple more seconds, but these are good to go and rest. I would say that's probably 45 seconds per side, the other steak. All right, let's do it. And I think it's time to get our taste tester. We'll start with just the steaks.
What's up, mate? You got beef? Oh, you do too. Cool, sweet.
You're good with the dad jokes tonight.
I've been a dad for longer than I've had kids, mate.
So, try a slice of that.
Beautifully seasoned. How'd you learn how to do that?
My first time.
Cut above the rest, mate.
All right, now try a slice of that one. All at the same time. Now, which one do you think is Wagyu?
Oh.
No, I'll be. They're both very good steaks.
They're really, really good.
So, which one do you think is more tender?
Definitely that one.
Do you?
Yep.
Well, that's not Wagyu.
Really?
Yep.
That tastes really, really good.
This actually has a meatier flavour, but I think this is more tender. For me, tell you what, this bit here, with like a slight bit of fat in it, just have a crack at that. And I'm really not trying to sway you here. The creaminess of that fat is just incredible, but yeah. I think this has a beefier flavour.
So let me have a go at that again.
I reckon this is creamier, this is beefier.
Yeah, I see what you mean now. This bit's fattier than the one I had before.
But like,
you can taste the difference in the fat.
One's intermuscular fat, one's separate fat.
I was about to say that, yeah. Oh, my tongue, man.
But I need to know how they go with chippies.
It tastes different with chips.
Yeah. And I reckon for Wagyu, some people got into me about this in a video once, I reckon Wagyu and mustard goes really well because it's a bit acidic and it cuts through the fat.
I think if you're someone who knows how to cook a good steak, you can make anything taste good. And if you're Harry, then Wagyu is really good.
That was very
Really
good.
glad he got me to cook that off camera.
Try to dip it a little bit there.
I'll oblige.
See me how it cuts through the fat a bit?
It is a culinary experience, this.
Okay,
Gastronomical.
I'm going to go and get some roast veggies. Then I'm going to do some gratuitous B-roll. And then we're going to sit down and drink more beers.
Of the fruit, not of
It wouldn't live up to my name if I didn't give you a fork.
provided.
See what you think of the pumpkin arrogance. I'm into it at the moment. Quite buttery. And creamy.
Flavours are really planted. That's how you know you've done it. You get that response.
Bit of salt on there. All right, I think we're going to nail this. I don't think we're ever going to plate up. I reckon we're just going to eat it off this breadboard because it's delicious.
Yeah.
And
Dad life.
washing up, who gives a shit? Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you comment the code word. Make sure you subscribe to Off-Road Crusader. And I'll see you in the next one.
Harry, great to meet you, mate.